Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Fire Emblem Three Houses, and this episode's going to be a bit of a mixture of things, because we're going to get some,
It's because of what happened.
we're going to get some, like, supports and stuff, but we're also going to tackle, not exactly a paralogue or a chapter, it's a skirmish, but it's in a brand new map, and we're going to face a brand new type of, demonic beast, so that's going to be interesting. But right now, we're just going on, this kind of gives you, a hint as to what's going on, because again, in hindsight, it makes a lot of sense as to who's someone's identity is, because they're talking about Ramaya Village, and it's talking to them too specifically. They're up to something. They're up to something. But at the same time, for those who know what's going on, it is actually quite interesting. It makes sense as to why they're talking about this, because, which I'll get into, I don't know if I want to cover it yet, but let's just say this is a shock to both of them. But, it is interesting, and again, that's one of the most interesting things about just what's going on in the Black Eagle's pathway, that, I don't know if I want to go into spoilers. But it's just interesting to see, how much people distrust each other and how much everyone is out for themselves at the end of the day. It's interesting in that regard. Any of you... Oh, again.
It is the logical conclusion, but I'm not so sure.
Yeah, that's one thing that Three Houses introduces. I don't know if I like its support. I mean, it's more realistic. You can get support down. Granted, it's only a small thing. But, it does feel disheartening whenever you do it. But, oh well, what are you going to do? I mean, at the end of the day, I'm still able to aid support with Edelgard. So, at the end of the day, it all works out. But again, it does make you pay more attention to what you got to say and all that jazz. So there is actual consequence and so on. And I believe the next support we get is Bernadette's. And yeah, this is where we see... It's funny, because I recorded this before the patch, so we get to see the full extent of her dialogue. And just how, get to see just how horrible her father was to her and why she's a shut-in. Because again, people usually don't have these... usually people who are this extreme or have these social anxieties or these... mental conditions to them. Obviously, usually it's brought about with some sort of immense, stress or just tragedy in their lives. I mean, sometimes some people are just born with a mental disorder. That's just how it is. But usually people like Bernadette, where it's more anxiety than a disorder. She wasn't born with anxiety. It's just a case of her father was so horrible to her. That's how she became one, and stuff like that. He basically forced her to be a submissive housewife, not even just a normal housewife, as in you can't speak back or anything, like a very, very old-fashioned type thing. Doing housework isn't a problem. If you like doing that, that's fine. I mean, I personally do a lot of housework at home because I like to keep the place tidy. But it's a case of, in this case, he's forcing you to be a submissive housewife. So it's a case of you can't say anything. Your husband makes all the rules. No, that's not how a relationship works. I know back then, that was kind of a thing, though, a lot of women were kind of just, especially those higher up, were kind of just, sold off in order just to, make more grandchildren and just continue bloodlines. It's unfortunate, but that's how it was. I mean, it still kind of exists today. Obviously, society has advanced, and when, it's more equal, it's not there yet. There's still, it's still, unfortunately, a more male-oriented world. It is getting better for women, but at the same time, it's definitely not equal yet, which is really, really upsetting, because at the end of the day, we're the same species. Why does gender such a... never mind. Yeah. Yeah, and even she was stuffed into a bag and just hauled here. Bernadette's story is really, really, really upsetting, but it is nice to see that she actually does get better from it. It's not because again, I heard Marianne, apparently, if you don't recruit Marianne in the pathway where she's not a golden deer, apparently she kills herself, and I'm just oh my god, that is awful. I mean, for a character it makes sense, but to see them go through with that, it's just terrible. I mean, I don't know what happens to Bernadette if you don't recruit her on another pathway, but it's just one of those things god damn, Three Houses is very, very dark. Yeah. More so, well, it's dark in the sense of, what goes on in the thing, and also character, stuff like that. I mean, other Fire Emblem games have very dark moments too, but I think Three Houses is the most consistently dark. Yeah, that's the thing, Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn have their dark moments, but they're most, Radiant Dawn is mostly, Path of Radiance is mostly light-hearted, and then it gradually gets darker, Whereas Radiant Dawn's kind of like it's kind of just dark-ish throughout, but then it spikes occasionally. You know, Fire Emblem's usually like that. Rarely is there a Fire Emblem game that's just wholly dark, and even the Three Houses isn't completely dark, but I feel it's the most consistently dark. Like, the tone it sets, the dark tone it sets to begin with stays throughout. It, obviously, you know, it gets darker and lighter certain bits, but it's generally on the same level. Yeah. Just watch them all learn stuff. Dorothy, did you learn anything? Well, yeah, they learn those, the level 3 and the prowess skills. But she learned Wind. Good old Flame. Looking back, I was like, I really should have taught Shamir riding earlier on. So yeah, now we get another support, and I believe it's with Cyril this time. And you know what? Even though Cyril's a character I'm not big on because he's got the whole, you know, just doesn't stop talking about one particular character type thing. At the very least, I'll give him credit that it makes sense because not only did Rhea save him and he's like a poor boy, but also Rhea is the Archbishop. She's like she is literally a god in this universe. Yeah. And also I like that they made Cyril kind of a he wants to do the best he can, but at the same time he doesn't think very hard think very far ahead. So obviously he's a bit of a not bumbling idiot, just short-sighted. And I think, you know, it makes him a more interesting character, the fact that, you know, he probably is rather uneducated given his background. But, you know, he's still trying all that he just does very roundabout ways of doing it. And I think that's kind of funny and it's kind of endearing. You know, they actually give characters, you know, actual character. It's not just literally Rhea everything. It's also, you know, I'm a bit short-sighted, but I do my best. I mean, also, he has a really good support with Petra as well. That goes into, like, where his loyalties lie and how depending on how events change, how he would shift. So that's interesting, you know. He's a character I'm not particularly big on, but I don't dislike him. So, you know, again, I think Three Houses has to be complimented for that. There isn't a single character again, the only character I dislike is Rhea, but that's not because she's poorly written. No, I think she's very well written. I just dislike Rhea because I think she's a bitch. But that's less about her being a bad character and more she just, like, her actions do not suit, they're not down to my preference. That's all it is. And again, if that's the reason you don't like a character, that's fine, because it's kind of, you know, that's kind of what they're set out to do. Or, in some cases, you know, like, there are some awful characters out there, like, I think it's Joffrey from Game of Thrones. He's, like, such an awful person, but that's just a case of him, the way he's written, you know. It's not a case of him being a poorly written character, it's just, he's written in the way he's meant to be awful. I mean, a lot of the Fire Emblem villains are awful people. Like, again, like, Volta's awful, Linus is awful. Sorry, Linus is bad, he's not awful. Like, you know, Kaliak is awful. Ashnod is awful, but they're still interesting. You know, it's better to be an awful character but well written, rather than being a poorly written character who, well, though isn't bad, in my opinion, though isn't bad, everyone dislikes you because there is nothing to you. You know, even if you are the worst, like, do some of the most horrible things imaginable, if you're at least interesting character, keep in mind, I'm talking about character. If you're at the very least an interesting character, there's something to grasp onto and there's something that draws you to him. Whereas if you're literally just, like, really, really poorly written, then, you know, there's nothing there. You know, something is better than nothing, if you ask me. But again, that's just me. So again, so if you see this, send there, send there, send there again. The dude really needs Facebook. He's begging for Facebook right now. Poor guy. Yeah. So, what's that? Oh yeah, the next bit is Bernadette finally maxes out her budding talent. So yeah.
I did pretty well.
And I believe she gets the skill Pass. Yeah, there we go. I mean, you know, Pass is Pass, but the main reason to max out the budding talent is so that because it pairs well with her class line, because she likes bows, so naturally, you know, what you call it?
Thanks for the help.
Yeah, because she likes bows, Bow Knight by the end of it. Oh yeah, so here's the chapter. So the whole thing is to defeat a giant, you know, bird. It's a giant, like, eagle type thing. So this chapter, it's quite interesting. It's a desert map, but you start on the outskirts, and you know, your whole thing is, you know, you want to what's this face? You want to get in there and then get to the middle, because the middle's got normal ground which you can walk on. So for this chapter, obviously mages are very effective because they, you know, they don't have to worry about. So mages and flying units are very effective because they don't have to worry about terrain. But also, you know, archers are good because in this game they have extended range, so that is quite useful to have that additional range. I mean, you know, and you know, also for this map, especially considering the enemies, either really high defense or really high speed. What do you call it? So the likes, like again, because the hawk type thing is very, 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 very fast. Not only that, but there's brawlers in this map, and if there's one thing this game has taught me, it's like, don't face brawlers head on, because it fucking hurts. Like, again, they hurt like a bitch. I swear to God, like, again, if they're fast enough, they will quadruple you, and they usually have decent attacks, so, you know, you really, really, really want to be careful with brawlers. But, you know, if you just be cautious, you know, pick them off a distance, you really want ranged weapons here, so you can pick people off from a distance. That, to me, is, you know, ideal. The Hawk itself, out of all the beasts, I find this to be the easiest because not only does it have just normal monster weaknesses with like the shields and stuff like that, but because of the flying weaknesses, it's I find it very easy to take down, personally. So, yeah. I mean, I quite like this.
Nerf this!
I quite like this map because I think it's just the right size, and also, again, there is a small area to move about normally, so I'm cool with it. You know, as far as, you know, to be fair, it's more of a side map, you know, it's not really a big thing, so, you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. But I think it's fine for a skirmish. I don't know if any of the units have this as an official map, that's the thing, I'm not sure. I mean, I think maybe the Golden Deer do, I'm not 100% sure, or like maybe a paralog, but this for me, it's only appeared as a side chapter, so, you know, yeah. Side mission. And again, because it's a new chapter, I thought I'd show off. And obviously, you know, starting out, I'm taking a very long time. But you gotta land the raw strike.
I've got many skills, you know.
So yeah, again, even the, like, again, a lot of the, like, Manuela wasn't taking any damage from the slot, so, you know, even if you double, 0 times 2 is still 0. So, you know, it's better than nothing, just whatever.
Try harder.
And again, because of the way the brawls are, again, I really, really appreciate Free Houses for the fact that it actually made enemies threatening. Because again, the brawlers fucking... Because, alright, first time I did this, I ran in there with my mages thinking, don't worry, you know, they're not that strong, I can tank. And then it's like, no, they're going to quadruple, like, 12 damage. I was like, yeah, I'm fucked. So, you know, now I'm just preferring to pick them off. Oh yeah, Marianne's here.
As you wish.
So, yeah, just got to do with that. I mean, for the most part, the bird will attack the enemies if you're not in range, and they can just help destroy some of its shield and health bars. I mean, granted, you may want to take what do you call it? You may want to. Yeah, it's a good thing I didn't fight there because otherwise I would have got punched a shelf, and that is not good. Wait, don't tell. Yeah, wait. Oh no, I think that's just checking the gambit. Because again, there was a time where I didn't realize to use I used the gambits on the turns, like at the end of the turn rather than start like a dope. But I think in this point in the Let's Play I've already learned that. So yeah, oh, that's gonna hurt. you motherfucker! Don't worry, we'll get him. Yeah, and then there's the big bird. The bird is very fast. So again, that's the thing. They have good coverage. Like again, they can go very far in terms of movement, and they're very fast. So just watch out for that. But they only have 1 health bar, so that makes things easier. Oh, and there goes Shamir.
Nerf this!
Boom. God, love me some curse shot. And oh yeah, again, Petra literally in this thing just doubles fucking everyone. It's ridiculous. Again, like straight up, Petra, in terms of the overall scheme, she was my best unit. Like, in terms of the overall performance. Obviously, different units vary at different times. Like, Edelgard is great, and especially starting out, she was extremely effective. Bernadette was really good starting out. I swear, towards the middle, Ferdinand gets really good. Hubert, especially towards the end, is extremely powerful, and so on. Oh, nice. So, you know, they vary in terms of where they're at, but like, just generally, Petra was the overall best. So, yeah, he's going up to them with a 6. So like I said, if you're very fast like this bird, you won't have to worry about being quadrupled. Which is good, which is very good. Good. Yeah, in the case of Edelgard, again, she is fast enough not to be quadrupled, and she's got enough defense as well. She can't double them, but at the same time, you know. At least she's not being quadrupled. Yeah, she can take the hits, I can take the hits. Though it's funny, it's like whenever they got hits to do, it's like, it's like, whatever. Predictable. Weak, as he says. And again, it's so funny, because again, I've looked up Edelgard's growth, it's like, wow, her magic growth is actually pretty strong. So yeah, this hurts, but again, low hit, and you can still take it. So yeah, with brawlers, you know, you really want fast or defensive units. Don't settle for anything in between, if you ask me. Unless, you know, you're going at them with a ranged attack. And oh my god, this guy is terrible. That bird was unconscious. Yeah, now it's doing the AoE. But honest to god, later down the line, these birds become an absolute joke. Like, the demonic beasts still give me a little bit of trouble because they have a lot of health bars. But the wolves aren't too bad. The birds are an honest to god joke. Well, I'm just like, okay, whatever. So yeah, there goes Shimir with another curve shot.
Nerf this!
God, she is such a babe. And yeah, I took her. She was like one of the. Alright, obviously in my team I have the main Black Eagles, but I also had 3. Was it 3 or 4 of it? Yeah, just 4 other units that really helped out. Who are they? Oh, you found out later. Again, one of them we don't get until the time skip. But Shimir was definitely one of them. But then again, Black Eagles, you get less. You don't get like I don't think you get like I don't know if you get Cyril. I don't think you do, and I don't think you get at least if you do Crimson Flowery, you don't get Katherine. Yeah. So who's next? Oh, there goes a brawler, and there goes that. Yeah, again, they're really not doing much to this bird. King of Wings, apparently, because Tibon has the King of the Sky, so this one has the King of Wings. Again, nice wingspan. Again, that's the thing that's yeah, that's one of the things that's interesting that I've learned. It's like, in order for, you know, just like any bird to sustain themselves in flight, their wingspan has to be twice their body size or length. So that's why, you know, birds have such big wings, especially if you see like a vulture, which I did in Australia. Like, oh my god, the wingspan. So again, if humans wanted to fly, we'd need some giant wings to sustain us, you know. Again, I'm 6'1", I need 12'2" wings. Wingspan. I need a 12'2" wingspan, or else I'm fucked. I ain't flying anytime soon. But yeah, it's just one of the interesting things, you know. But then again, it makes sense because you need to support your body weight. You know, flying, you know, imagine gravity and just wind and everything. It'll take its toll on you. And the wings aren't exactly, you know, thick. Well, they're not meant to be. Otherwise, how else are you gonna fly and glide through the air? Yeah, because even the Pegasus have pretty big wingspans. Yeah, so I think, no, he missed, and he's dead. There he goes. I like the look of the birds too. They definitely look like birds of prey. Oh, there's this one dude just doing stuff. Yeah, my thing is, how do you miss a bird that's potentially unconscious? So yeah, they destroyed that. His health bar's up, and I swear, yeah, like every time you lose his health bar, they get skill. I think he's got the bird's got darting blow. Which yeah, they have 14 times 2. Oh boy, that's not gonna end well. Yeah, again, but everything, like the enemies, the monsters, everything in the unit is pretty perfectly balanced, as all things should be. Well, obviously not perfectly, but very close to it. And there goes Bernie Bear. Boom. Love it. Oh, Bernie. Again, early on with her personal skills, just really damn useful. And again, Hubert, man, again, he has some really fucking powerful magic. Like, good lord. If he can double someone, they are fucked. Unless they have extremely high res, but even then, that's unlikely. Whew, nice. And she, yeah, just boom. Again, archers, especially for this map, are good just because, again, they have extended bow range. Because, you know, that's one thing I like about Free Houses. Archers start weak, but they quickly get out of their starting rut. Like, you know, they learn curved shot, they learn close counter, they learn so many attributes to help, and, you know, they learn Hunter's Void once they master Sniper. So they learn so much to get around their crutches, which I really appreciate. And I also appreciate so much for Free Houses that units can, you know... See, even like Petra's being doubled. I think that's a lot of that's to do with Darting Blow, which is good because if she got hit twice, she'd be dead. What was it? I like that a lot of classes are open to whichever weapons they want to use. I think that's a little... Yeah. So it's like, you know, just because you're a paladin doesn't mean you can't use a bow. Obviously some are limited, like, you know, I know monks can't brawl, and non-magic classes can't use magic, but still. Point still stands. I like that there's so much options you can use with classes who, if you go to a certain class, you haven't fucked yourself over if you've specialised in another weapon type, for the most part. Yeah. Dex and defense, double Ds. Well, Shimir has a pair of double Ds. And she got a D+ rank. God, it's all the Ds for Shimir. Good lord. So yeah, that's the end of that. Pretty standard map, but I thought I'd show off, because again, it is new. Technically speaking, it is new. And of course, Shimir, because again, killed the boss and killed quite a few of them. So anyway, that's the end of that part. I hope you all enjoyed it. Next time we meet, we're going to be starting Sophist Paralogue, one of my least favourite, because you thought one bird was bad. Wait till you see like a whole horde of birds, wolves, and demonic beasts. Oh boy, and it's going to be a two-parter, so brace yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Until then, thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care, and have a wonderful day.